Hey guys, the next selection finally started, and with it we got some bad news. There is no new event coming up, which means you need to start grinding on the current mythological ritual this week. First off, let's just look at all the new people that we can elect. So there's Foxy, more gifts from the Jury event, garbage, 15 sea creature, so we can't even get the new fishing event. People are like, this is so good, I just think this is junk because, no new content. Bonus spell damage, why is this even an option? 2 nines mining XP. This is really good. I don't know why people are not voting this. Double mining XP on island. Could have been really good, but whatever. And then dungeon reward chests are cheaper. Again, a lot of interesting buffs, but a lot of them aren't that good. So what does that mean for right now? Well, if you guys have not been playing, Diana is currently the mayor, and you need to go get your grind on. And what I mean by that, well, there's a lot of new items. But first off, you want to come to the mayor and come pick up these 2 items, the Ancestral Spade and the Griffin Pet, because you will need these 2 items to start grinding. Now, there is not too many new items added in from, this, I guess I call it event, but this election. Mainly what you do is use the Ancestral Spade, run around the island, you click right click, it'll take you to, lead you to a burrow, you click it, and you pick up some loot. The main loot you pick up is, you can quickly go check Bazaar if you want to look at them, but you mainly pick up Griffin Feathers and Ancient Claws. Now, as you can see, their price is not that high right now. I assume over the next few days they'll go a bit lower, but after this event goes away, it might never come back. Now, it might come back one day if it's the only good option, but as of right now, it's not returning next week. It could not return the week after that. I assume that it looks like they cycle their buffs, so how that works is pretty much every week they'll have a different one, unless they're a re-elected one. So let's say if Diana was in the event again, she would have a second buff now, which would make people want to vote her again and stuff like that. But since she's not there, we are stuck with what we have right now. So you need to start grinding. And what do you need to grind, you might ask? Well, there's 2 things. One, which is the number 1 thing, is the Beast Master Crest. Now this thing, it is pretty pricey. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's about 3 mil per stack of these, so it's about 12 mil, about 13, 14 mil just for the materials, and you get the previous one. So this is going to run you like 20, maybe 20, 25 mil to get the full talisman, but you don't know what's going to come back. You also want to start grinding it up as well. Maybe get up to 500, 1000 kills, because it provides a nice buff. Pet XP boost is very nice, considering only taming gives it, plus the pet item that you put on your pets. So you're going to keep that in mind, that this is limited for now. It might be a while before it comes back. So keep that in mind, is like the main thing, is you gotta get this stuff done before, when's the election end? You have 3 days and 20 hours until the next buff begins. So you have this long to get these items. Now the prices will go down quite a bit, but they could go up, right? And once the event ends, there is no more supply being added in, so their price will shoot way up as people want to get the new stuff. And there's also the Griffin Pet. Now, the Griffin Pet is also very expensive as well. Is it worth it? Well, I think it is, but not for what you think. Now, for fighting the content in general, most players are going to want to using a rare pet because it is really, really hard content. If you guys haven't seen from my streams, they spawn up to 10 million HP mobs, and they're hard to fight pretty much. So using a rare pet is definitely really good. But right now, I pulled a Legendary Griffin. You guys can see on my screen. It has some good perks. It gets up to 10 Magic Find, has mediocre stats. Unfortunately, the second perk is pointless because now you can have a permanent God Splat or God Potion on, so that sucks. The final perk is really, really good. Looks like it's up to 16 or 15% strength bonus. That's a nice perk. But pretty much you'll only be using this in conjunction with the Daedalus Axe with Chimera on it, or just in general Daedalus Axe, so because Daedalus Axe brings pet stats over to it, so you could easily you could put the Clover on here and get 17 Magic Find, and then equip it on, equip to the Axe. So the Axe gives you like a bajillion Magic Find. You get 34, or you get 17 extra because of the pet. So keep that in mind. If you want to grind, go for rare. It's definitely a good, I think that's a good way to go. Since you unlock enough creatures, now you can count all the good drops, which right now we're going to quickly go check if there's any Chimera books on the AH, since I don't know if anyone's seen this yet, or you guys might have not seen it. It is a very, very good ultimate enchant. Okay, there's one on H right now. So there's a Chimera 2 for 70 mil. This thing is really good. Now this is the creme de la creme of the drops. I assume you can only get it from a legendary Griffin, but this thing is insane. I'm gonna, cry some tears once the event ends if I don't have even one copy of this, because I want like 2 or 3 of these at 5-star. Because if you guys can't read, you definitely can, but it copies your pet stats. Level 5 copies 100% of your pet stats. So when you pull out your E-Drag and you're like, oh, hey, I get an extra 50 strength 50 crit damage on my sword. So something like your Emerald Blade is insane, or just any of your crit weapons are a lot better. So it's just something like that is kind of crazy. Now, the difficulty is one thing. Even if, it's too hard for you to do, to defeat the mobs, you can still get away with doing, a common or even an uncommon, which is what I had at first. You come find these things, you dig them up, and it leads to the next one. And normally they lead you to certain areas, like it'll point to high level, or it'll point to the castle, or it'll point to Coliseum or the graveyard, or wherever it'll take you. But just remember that if you want to, try to make some money or get lucky, you do need a higher tier Griffin. There is 2 other drops as well. They're both pet items, but one of them is really cheap, and the other one you get from digging with a higher level Griffin. So as you can see, to pull the mob right here, what do we get? We get this one, which is kind of the biggest mob, but with a lower tier one, he only has 50k HP, so they do scale up depending on your pet rarity. So that is something that you're going to need to keep in mind. Again, I just want to make this quick, kind of put this out there, because the event is very short, and you guys need to, get these items as soon as you can. Mainly the talisman. The Griffin pet doesn't matter unless you're a collector, but you want to pick up the talisman at some level. You don't even need to get legendary, at least rare, but definitely want to get to legendary if you can. That's like the main point and I wanted to talk about today. Besides that, it is a tough update since I've played it for a while now. I just want to share my thoughts for people that made this far in the video. It is challenging. Now, you can make it a lot easier to make this sword a Sword of Revelations. This is kind of key if you want to grind with a legendary one and you don't have the gear. I use an Emerald Blade, which I do a lot less damage than Sword of Revelations. I just don't like this Sword of Revelation because how it works, and it's not too expensive now, so 20 mil to make, and you have to wooden singularity it. So if you want to do that, you can't afford an Emerald Blade or don't have like a Midas. Midas isn't really good enough, but this thing will make up a difference, but you'll be really squishy now because the bonus damage you take. So it's all something to think about if you plan on grinding this update. But you do want to get that sick Daedalus Axe at the end of the day. It would be cool to get any of these drops. There's still over 3 days left, so hopefully I get some. Hopefully you guys get some loot as well. Besides that, I'm wrapped up there. If you guys are new, remember to sub. We are almost at 30k, which means we can get that sweet red name. So if you're new, maybe think about subscribing, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!